to you, Joey.
Thanks, Sophie. Now moving on to the office. Hi, this is Joy from Keppel, and we're going to be asking Mark Williams some questions about his book, Magical Mayhem. So, Mark, what inspired you to make Magical Mayhem?
Well, that book actually it was two friends of mine started a publishing company, and they wanted to start with this anthology, this collection of short stories, and they know that magic and fantasy are popular, so they had the title Magical Mayhem. So the title was their inspiration, and they just asked me to be in it. So my inspiration was saying yes to my friends. But then at that point I had to think of what story, because the only idea, I said, well, what sort of story should it be? And they said, the only guidance we're going to give you is in the title. It's magic that behaves in unpredictable ways, but try not to use witches, which made it harder because I was planning on using witches. So I had to change my idea a bit, and that became the story that you read in the book.
Oh, and just a quick question, what's anthology?
An anthology, it's a great question. An anthology is a word that means a collection of smaller things. You used to have them for music, back in the days when music came out on CDs and things like that. But you have them now still in books, where it can be a collection of stories, different stories by the same author, or as in this case, a collection of different stories by different authors.
That's cool. What inspired you to be an author?
That's a very good question. I mean, I think it was just sort of in my bones. I mean, my parents, I told your class the story, my parents met on the staff of their college paper, and even though they didn't wind up working as newspaper people, there's always a lot of talk about writers and writing in my house when I grew up, and I always kind of expressed myself by writing things down, a story. So it was kind of, it's not even a thing I really thought about consciously until I was older and I'd already been doing it.
Well, what inspired you to make
That's the specific answer for Danger Boy. Here's one of the Danger Boy books, the third one, Trail of Bones. So the inspiration for Danger Boy was when my oldest son, who's now in college as we're speaking, he ran around, this is when he was a toddler, so he was hardly ready for college then. He was running around our house saying, "I'm a Danger Boy, I'm a Danger Boy." And that sounded like such a cool title, I figured I had to use it for something.
Well, thanks, Mark.
Thank you.
Reporting from Keppel Kids News, this is Joey. Hi, this is Joey reporting from Keppel Kids News. We're gonna ask Tim Egan some questions about his book. Well, Tim, my favorite book that you've done was The Pink Refrigerator. What inspired you to make that book?
Oh, this book? Well, thank you. Actually, this book was based on a drawing I did. This first painting, I did this in my studio one day, just drew this guy watching TV, and I decided to write about this painting. So I wrote the whole story. It's about this little guy named Dodsworth, and he finds this pink refrigerator in a junkyard, because he's a junk keeper. And this refrigerator is magic, so once it says make pictures and he opens it up, he tries to get this globe off, because he thinks the globe's worth money, but he can't. But when he opens it up, it's got these paintbrushes in it. So he goes back to sell them and then decides he doesn't want to sell them, and he uses them to do a painting. And the next day he goes back, and it says read my refrigerator. So it's got a different message every day he goes back, and then there's something new inside. But at the end, right when he's really confident that there'll be something new in there, there's nothing in there. It says keep exploring, but the refrigerator's empty. And he's mad about it, and he slams the door. But later that night, he looks at the little globe that fell off and thinks, you guys should keep exploring. And he goes off to see the world. That's sort of the short synopsis.
Thank you, Tim.
All right, thank you.
Keppel Kids News, this is Joe.